Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And my brothers and sisters, this is part 2 from last night's video. We could not fit all the information that we're about to drop for you in last night's video, so we made a 2-parter. Of course, make sure you leave a comment in the comments field below, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on, and we would love to have you along for the ride while we spread freedom on the daily. So kind of a primer, if you did not catch what we talked about last night, there was an abject failure in an amendment to defund the Office of Gun Violence Prevention, and it was all on Republicans because they have the majority. Either true conservatives that they claim that they are didn't vote for it, or they just didn't show up. Not a good look in either aspect or regard, but that was last night's video. What I'm going to show you right now is the big enchilada, the things that they weren't even addressing while this was an amendment that failed last night, what we talked about. What we're about to show you are the things that are inside the actual funding bill that are much more important on the long-term fight of what we've been focusing on from the new amendment, which can be brought up in another Congress or at another time. This is a key point. Check this out, and this is why we are talking about this. So, this is around the Appropriations Bill, Fiscal Year 2024 Commerce, Justice, Science, and Related Agencies Appropriations Bill. This funds or defunds items in this bill. The ATF's overreach is all defunded in this bill. We talked about it about a week ago. That the reason that this is so massively important is as we dive into this, you start to see the fight was around the amendment fight. These are tucked in as negotiation items. These aren't even amendments. This was a bill introduced to defund the office. These are amendments in the spending bill. Massively different, but equally important. All right, let me show you what the top-line messaging is here. Ends the abuses of power at the Department of Justice, reversing anti-Second Amendment overreach by the ATF by defunding the ATF's rules on pistol braces and privately made firearms. Let's see here. Yes, defunding Executive Order 14092, which calls for an assault weapons ban, and defunding efforts to federalize state and local policing practices. So everything that they were, the wet dream on gun control they were trying to do, this defunds it. So these ATF actions are getting pressure from the court side, and now they're getting pressure from the congressional side. This is the fight that we're in. This is a massive piece of this. And while they lost last night, that was an amendment which was high profile. This is in the funding bills, which will defund all of it. All right, let's get into this. Section 566. None of the funds made available by this act may be used for gun buyback or relinquishment programs. Cuts it straight out, not happening. Now let's go into 569. None of the funds made available by this or any other act or provided by any accounts in the Treasury of the United States derived by the collection of fees available to the agencies by this act may be available for obligation or expenditure to study, prepare, propose, or adopt any rule, regulation, administrative order, or secretarial or executive action for the purpose of restricting the production, purchase, sale, or transfer of any firearm unless expressly authorized by Congress. Any questions? That goes right after the CDC's funding of gun violence research. They're doing this. This is actually in the bill, and it's linked right down there if you want to see it. Let's go to Section 570. None of the funds made available by this or any other act may be used to create, operate, or maintain a federal firearms registry. 573. None of the funds made available by this or any act may be used to classify, tax, or register any firearm with an attached stabilizing brace or other similar brace or rearward attachment, notwithstanding any extended additional contact surface rearward, or use it outside of its original design, or used as a buttstock, or used to enable shoulder fire as a rifle, short-barreled rifle, or short-barreled shotgun under the NFA. Can't use it for that. This is the last one, 568. None of the funds may be available to this act to be used to fund or implement any red flag or extreme risk protection order laws. That is completely gutting the Senate Bipartisan Safer Communities Act. When you're talking about the things that are in this appropriations bill, yes, the amendment that we covered last night is a pain in the butt, and it makes the Republicans look like morons. Absolute morons, because they can't get in line with some of their mainline objectives of protecting the Second Amendment, which they all say, but turns out they don't do that much. This is the big one. Defunding everything that they've done. Frames and receivers, pistol braces. They're not allowing red flag laws. They're not allowing registries. All the money that is coming out here is not being applied to their pet projects of which they've fought so hard for the last 1.5 to 2 years to get into the executive bureaucracies. That's why the big fight is right here. Make sure you're here when we're covering all this, because this is the stuff to watch. Yes, the amendment that they covered, the bill that they introduced that failed from Republicans is egg on the face of the Republicans. That can be reintroduced. The stuff that we've got in here around the enacted pistol brace rule and the frames and receivers and the registries and all of it, this will cut the funding for that for the next full year, 12 months. This is the big fight. And that's what I've got for you guys. I wanted to lay it all out. And sorry it took 2 videos, but I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think of the format, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.